This video discusses number pools in TrackDrive version 2. Go ahead and click on Call Routing and then Number Pools. Now there is no difference between a number that belongs to a pool and a number that is configured static on TrackDrive as far as how it routes. A number is a number. It's going to come into an offer and route to the buyers that are on that offer. The difference is that when a number belongs to a number pool, the attributes, the traffic source ID and the tokens that are getting set in the number are only configured in that number temporarily, and that number can be reused later. So you don't ever want to give a number pool number to a traffic source to use for his advertising, because even his traffic source ID may disappear from that number. But number pools are used in combination with our offer attributes that's here. So when you're in your offer, at the very bottom we have the optimizer tokens, and these tokens here we're going to read from the URL for any of these values, and we're going to store the values we find in the URL over in these tokens on TrackDrive. So that this information in your offer is going to be what the number pool uses to attribute the number temporarily. So I'm going to go ahead and add a number pool here. Now the type of number pools we have, most of the time you're just going to use phone number tracking. If you're trying to set up a number pool for SMS sending, that would be here. Virtual extension tracking means that you're going to have one number on your website, and you're going to also get returned from TrackDrive a virtual extension. Now that may be a contractor ID where you're trying to do home improvement website and you're showing all of the contractors in this person's area based on plumbing or roofing or window repair or whatever. The prompt in the offer will state whatever it really is. Like you may say, thanks for calling, the best home improvement center ever. Enter your 5-digit contractor ID. What that'll be used for is to route the call to the appropriate contractor that you showed on the landing page so that it routes properly. But by using virtual extensions, you only need one number instead of many hundreds of numbers if you had a very active website. This could also be used for products. Your website, anytime someone calls in, they can talk about any product you have on your website, and you may have tens of thousands of products. Well, your virtual extension could be the product ID, and they key that in, so that when they call in, you already know what product they're referring to. But normally, it's going to be phone number tracking, and we're just going to have a bunch of phone numbers that we're going to track. Now, you always need an offer that it's for, so I'm going to pick the student loan consolidation offer. Normally, you never have a traffic source in your pool. It's shared amongst all of your traffic sources. But if you had a traffic source that's really heavy duty traffic, and he wants to make sure, because he understands how optimization works, that he's not losing numbers to a timeout and it becomes someone else's number and it's actually his traffic, you can have a specific pool for a specific traffic source, and then also have another pool with no traffic source. So your big guy has his own his own number pool, and then you have another number pool with no traffic source that's shared amongst all your other traffic sources. The number limit is simply how big we want this thing to grow. The token hold time is how long before this pool number will be put back in the pool so that the attributes can be reassigned. This token hold time is reset every time another visitor comes to the page. So if you were running Google AdWords and the keyword was contractor, and many hundreds of people are visiting your site, and it never has a chance to be 3 minutes before another visitor shows up, we will keep seeing the same number to pull from the number pool because you sent in the Google ID, the Google traffic source ID, and then the keyword keeps being contractor, and so we keep showing the same number until we have 3 minutes where the number's not used, and then it's back in the pool. Now the pool numbers we do round robin, so it doesn't mean in 3 minutes we wipe out those attributes. The traffic sources and all the tokens that get set in the number from the pool will remain in that until the number needs to be used again. So if that number wasn't used for, if the number wasn't pulled from the pool again and reset, and 2 days later someone called, it'd still have the same attributes set on that. The number stockpile is how many numbers you want us to pull. When you need one number, how many numbers should we pull? If you have this set to 1 or higher, we're always reserving numbers and putting them in your stockpile before a visitor comes to the page, so that even though it's a very small delay, we don't have a delay at all because the numbers are already assigned to your company and we're not trying to buy it from Plevo or whatever. That's what the number stockpile is. It's pretty fast anyway, so most people just leave that as 1 so their pool can grow as slowly as possible until it reaches your max size. I would say almost 100% of the time you're not going to track unique visitors, but you could, especially if you're trying to do a, let's say, an extension pool. Because you can have so many extensions, maybe you do want to track a unique visitor, and maybe you ask for their first name, last name, and phone number, and then when they call in, we can actually post that data to whoever's going to buy the call, and they know how to address the person. Or we can even, when they call in, if you're doing a text-to-speech, we can even say, "Hi, John, thanks for calling." So maybe that's a great time you'd use unique visitors if you're using an extension pool. Now, it could be that it's going to track unique visitors if one of your tokens that you're telling us to track is unique, like a click ID. The provider you have to pick if you have more than one provider. I added Plevo in there so you could always see this in my videos, but I'm going to say I want numbers from TrackTel, I want them to be for the United States, I want to pull toll-free. I would not pick an area code, because if you do, it's going to force us to, we may run out of numbers for that individual area code, so I just let it do its thing. The auto rent numbers on means go ahead and pull numbers anytime. You could turn it off. Let's say your max limit is 100. It already pulled 20, and you want to say stop renting numbers, so we'll just keep using those 20, and then it would be full if you don't have this on. You might also turn that off if you're trying to maintain virtual numbers through our integrations, virtual numbers. We'll even do number pools for numbers that TrackDrive doesn't own, or we're not integrated through Plevo or something like that. We can get numbers from Sonatel, which we have no integration to at the time of this video, and those numbers could be pointed towards TrackDrive, and you could put them all into a number pool, and we'll optimize even virtual numbers. So if you were trying to put virtual numbers in this pool, you'd auto rent numbers off. So I can go ahead and create that number pool, and that is all you really need for number pools, because there's no additional information here to edit. You can look at an overview of what's going on with the numbers that belong to that pool. You can see the numbers that are there. You can check edit logs. You change this. If all of a sudden this became 1,000 numbers here, your logs would show which user changed that. The number insertion here, I'm making a completely separate video for this because it's very detailed, and usually a video that someone at the higher programming ability is going to be interested in. So that is number pool maintenance in version 2 of TrackDrive.